National Police Commissioner. And for purposes of this discussion, she talks to us as co-chairperson of Net Joints. That's General Tebello Mosikili, who talks to me now. Commissioner, good evening to you. Thank you very much for your time. Let me start with the question about whether you have found any evidence of illegal military camps that are taking place on any farm here in South Africa.
Good evening, Jolly. Good evening to the viewers at home. Yes, Jolly, we did receive an alert. I think following the revelations that were made by the police commissioner of Lesotho, we were alerted by the statement that was on his social media account, and we did not rest from the time that we received such. We have deployed all our operatives on the ground to establish the facts, including our bilaterals that we are having, because we do have bilaterals with Lesotho. There were a number of engagements that were called at that were made at local, including at national level, and we have then deployed our forces on the ground to establish, but to not discount such a statement, because these are very serious allegations that were made that there is a training camp in South Africa, and up to date, I can confirm to South Africans, as the National Commissioner as well have issued the statement yesterday, that with the reports that are at our disposal at this point, there is no such a confirmation from the areas that we have deployed and requested that colleagues need to go and get. So we have not yet established any such training, but we are continuing as the security of South Africa to engage, one, and secondly, to have our operatives on the ground to check. And the appeal that I want to make to South Africans this evening is that if there is that such that they can observe, they need to alert the authority, and we will do the necessary investigation. But up to date, you are right, we have not yet established any training that is happening in South Africa that is of military nature.
Deputy Commissioner, I would like for us to just revisit that interview we did with the Lesotho Police Commissioner. I want for us to go back now to Basotho Matsoso. This is the National Police Commissioner of Lesotho. Here's what he said to us. Let's take a listen.
Our laws does not allow that. We're not even sure if it is coming to us, because if we are saying we are reclaiming the Lesotho territory from South Africa and we are training in South Africa, at the same time, you know, what was happening, what we have discovered about these groups is that they were also, they seem to be already, preparing to be taking over. We're not sure what means are they going to use in order to take over, because the science that we have come across, the intelligence that we have got, shows that actually these people were out to do something which is completely against the laws of the country, as the case may be.
Deputy Commissioner, there is your counterpart in Lesotho. South Africans these days may be very skeptical. Who should they believe between South African authorities and the Lesotho authorities? Who must we believe here?
Like I said, Toli, we have heard what the police commissioner of Lesotho is saying. And as a result, we have dispatched our operatives from all angles to go and verify the information. The unfortunate part of where we are seated, there is no specific area that has been provided to us that this matter or this training is happening at such and such a place. Hence, we know as a country, we from time to time report on the areas where we will do our own country operations and where we arrest. So we know the areas where we have predominantly the Basothos that are predominant in areas.
Yeah.
Free State, Eastern Cape, and KZN is bordering with Lesotho. So this is our flashpoint. This is our hotspots that we cannot leave out when we do this verification process.
Yeah.
But over and above these three provinces, we know as a country that you will go to Limpopo, you get a contingent of Basothos, you go to Northern Cape, you'll go to Northwest at the mining areas, you will get a large numbers of Basothos. Some are in the areas where they will be the head boys and so on and so forth. So we are looking at all the necessary farms. I am saying to you, Toli, we are not discounting this statement. Hence, we are continuing to engage with our colleagues in Lesotho. We do have bilaterals that we are continuing. The provinces that I have mentioned have continuous meetings, and this was never communicated with them before, up to the time that we have received this statement.
Yeah.
Hence the engagement. And we are continuing with our intelligence collection. We have dispatched all our capacity and capability in the country to make sure that we do not leave any stone unturned. Okay. And we cannot say now that we have not established such, there isn't such happening. We just continue to engage to get more information, more intelligence with our colleagues in Lesotho, the counterpart, as we have rightfully indicated, that police-to-police cooperation, we have engaged. We want to get specifics, but as and when we are waiting for those specifics, we cannot sit back. I think we have learned from what happened in White River. Yeah. And since then, Toli, I can assure the South Africans that we have seen that immediately after the experience that we had in White River, there was a revelation that came in Limpopo that we immediately responded to, and the necessary response was provided from the DPCI and all other relevant operatives. And in this case, as the NAT joins, we even met, and we are continuing to meet to get reports from time to time, so that when we come to the nation and say there isn't such, at this stage, we have not yet established. But we want to be sure when we come back to you, we will be saying we have checked, we are everywhere, we are sure that there isn't such that is happening in the country.
Final question, Deputy Commissioner. Do you suspect ulterior motives for Lesotho to say this? Because you say that you cooperate on matters of intelligence gathering. And so it would seem that this may have taken you by surprise, their media conference where all of this was communicated. All I'm asking you is, do you suspect that there could be ulterior motives here? Is acting suspicious?
Koli, I cannot say that at this stage, because our colleagues did confirm that they have received the correspondence prior to this at our NCB. That is the Interpol desk that we are having. So there was a communication between the two countries' Interpol officers in regards to this matter. Hence, we are saying from the time that we became aware of this particular issue, that was not raised at the bilateral meetings that the provinces, the three provinces that I'm mentioning, were supposed to have a meeting. Perhaps should that meeting have happened, the colleagues could have raised this and it could have been followed up from that point. Right. But in a process when the bilateral meetings were not held, there was a communication that was sent to the Interpol offices that was processed. Hence, we started to have our collection on the ground that started to collect and analyze what they are having. And at this point, I think it's too soon for me to come here to the nation and say there isn't such. But at all areas, all 9 provinces were not spared. We had our flashpoint or the red flags provinces that we know is our hotspots that are bordering with Lesotho. We have not established that, and we are continuing. There are people that were mentioned by the commissioner, and that follow-up was also made, and we will continue to make follow-ups, and we are intending at the joint level now, without the 3 or over and above the 3 provinces engagements, at the joint level, we are intending to secure a meeting, whether we go to Lesotho or we meet at one of the borders, either Maseru or any other border where we can have this bilateral meeting. We are planning to have such meeting, but as at this point, we don't have. And as a country, we are not taking such claims very lightly.
All right.
That's number 1. But number 2, we, since the revelations that we had at White River, that we cannot take this for granted. Hence, all the security forces, all the law enforcement that are involved or mandated with this, including SIRA, we have to look at any other such suspicious activities that are happening, and we'll continue to do that. And I can say we'll come back either at the NAT joint level or at the JCPS level to come and give South Africans the feedback. But up to this point that I'm talking to you, there hasn't been such a confirmation.
General Tebello Mosikili, thank you very much for your time. She is the co-chairperson at NetJoints, talking to us about a very, very important matter.